This conference will now be recorded.
Thanks, Nia. Thanks for setting it up. So anyhow, we, could have been doing this a long time ago, but we couldn't because we were in tax season. We had no idea what was going to go on with all the tax law changes and the PPP loans and everything. Um, so I go to sleep at night with, and Christine and I talked about it at our information guys on YouTube. I listen to a ton of people. Nia and I get a ton of stuff over our desks. And I forget how many tax law changes there are, but our fire drill were the PPP loans because we were feeling choked for our clients. Were they going to be able to survive? Nobody knew. So now, Nia, can you bring up? So now it's like, how do you record for them to maximize forgiveness? And one thing I've tried to pride myself on in this industry is, after working with my CPA husband many years ago, brilliant, brilliant man, but he was so reactive. And I don't want it to be, and you guys that are on right now are really proactive folks. And thank you for that. But, and I don't want the banks at the, very last minute to say, okay, this needs to be certified by your accountant, or we need this, 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 and this, and this, and this, and this. We want to be talking about it from now till the end of May, and as things change uh, from now till then too. And for every client, it's not going to be cut and dry because every client is different. But Nia, do you have how we're accounting for that?
Yeah.
Off the balance sheet. We set up a spreadsheet right away. That's another thing. I didn't want the end of the year to come and go, wait, did they go on a PPP loan? How much was forgiven? How much has to go on the balance sheet? How much doesn't? But let me just blow this up a sec. So we set this up right away. So we want you guys to, even if I seem less than friendly, I'm just in my head exhausted and scared for all my clients. We have in there the funding. We have another spreadsheet we'll show you in a minute. Well, I don't know if we can. Another spreadsheet has the day you receive the loan, because we know we have 8 weeks to utilize it properly to maximize forgiveness. And the amount Nia has in there in a formula for payroll, and then eligible for rent and utilities. Y'all that do have home offices, which is a huge portion of our clientele, I have heard that a good idea would be to have a piece of paper recorded saying that you're leasing space to your corporation. You can or can't, you don't have to have that. And then, but I think I told Christine this, send me a spreadsheet however often, 1 month, and then the next month it shows rental payments to yourself, including and the percentage of your utilities, which is based on whatever percent that we take on your tax returns. Okay. And I don't know what the bank is going to ask for, but at least if we have that for them, and then I could explain anything to them, I could tie that out to your last year's tax return to say we are acting within the guidelines. We've got this, and we're proving it. Okay. We may not have to, but regardless, I would go so far as, saving my electric bill, my water bill, my internet bill. And people have asked me as far as utilities. Well, we have a business phone system, Jive service. We pay a bill too, but I also pay my cell phone bill from the business, like all of us do. Excuse me. Are they going to allow the cell phone bills? We don't know. If you guys have heard something differently, like yes, for sure. And, I'm going to be redundant. I'm not going to sound so much different than all of the other folks that you watch on YouTube or you read about. I think we all pretty much sound the same. We don't know, and some say this and some say that. My whole thing is I want to be the mouthpiece from my practice for my group, because if I'm saying something that I hear the next day has changed either with the SBA or IRS, I know how to pivot that real quick. So that's why I'm keeping Max out of the loop. Plus he's tied to the tax returns and accounting right now. And I'm keeping Nia out of the loop as far as the communication. Max couldn't be on this webinar today, but he will be, and he'll chime in with his thoughts and everything on it. So I want it, whether it's right, wrong, or other, I want to take what I know and what I've learned and go with it. Now, as you receive information from Blue Vine, your credit unions, your banks, we get updated information from First Citrus Bank, Hancock Whitney Bank, Banco ZK, Wells Fargo Bank, Blue Vine. Who else did you apply? Whoever we've applied with in all the different banks. We do get a lot of their updates. As you guys get updates, please send it to me so I know, you know. Okay, excuse me. So your rent utilities for your home-based businesses, like I said, make yourself a rental invoice. Keep that just for your records. I don't know what your bank is going to ask for. Payroll costs have been kind of funky dunky on partnerships and what else? Sole proprietors, right? And those folks that don't actually have payroll with federal withholding and FICA and Medicare, that's okay. We can tell you what that amount is if you don't already know by you already giving that to your folks. If you need to know, we can give you that number. Do write yourself an old-fashioned check if you have them. If not, make it really clear when you do a transfer. Maybe print that portion of the bank statement, or not even the banks. I don't know, encircle it and say draw or distribution. Those of you that have payroll, Christine, you have payroll with us. We got you on that. We'll have payroll forgiveness reports that tie out in our USDA authorized, certified, and so forth. As you hear things, I'm not perfect. All the CPAs, the attorneys, I don't hear anything else that they're talking about that we're not talking about and doing. We also have another very lengthy, I don't think the word's lengthy. What's the word for the other spreadsheet you set up, Nia? Details spreadsheet. So if the bank at the last hour asks this, we'll have it for you. Josh, you just started on payroll. We can talk about how we're going to handle and help you with that. You guys, you have no idea the phone calls I got from folks that were so desperate. They hadn't done their taxes. They don't interact with their accountant. They said, can I bring my receipts over today? I need to get money for the PPP. And I'm like, I can barely help my clients, but thank you for doing business with us on a monthly or quarterly basis. I know it seems like, it's an expense maybe you don't need, but I will tell you the peace of mind it provided for you guys and for us too. All of the folks that are monthly or quarterly with us, it's like, here you go. Oh, you need that? Here you go. What else do you need? Bring it on. Bring it on. It was just, a beautifully orchestrated thing. It was nice and it was beautiful. And again, you all that did your own and are really more, astute than I am or whatever and got on your stuff, thank you. And I applaud you for that. And let me know how we can help in between. Give me your thoughts on where you think I want to have these meetings twice and 3 times a week now, just to have us discuss where we think the economy is going, how we can all help each other in our businesses as they change. I don't want to get off track. Nia, can you show, even though it has clients' names, can you show the other spreadsheet we have that we're just to assure our clients that we are looking out for them? If you can't do it without showing their names, then don't do it. We could have it next time.
Yeah, I don't think I can.
Okay. It's very detailed. It has everything about your life and the loan. Everything about your life and the loan on there. So if anything's asked. Let's see. Everybody wants to know, can I pay for this? Can I pay for that? Can I pay for that? I think just think of it like my cell phone. That's a utility, okay, right? I had a banker that I've known for years tell me that my one client that's Parasail, and they'll be on here next time, probably Parasail, Eagle Parasail out at Johns Pass. They bank with Hancock Whitney, and my Hancock Whitney business banker there told me that they could use their fuel for the boats, that is considered a utility. That was a little out of the box for me. I like that. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to think you all what it would be. I mean, I guess, Brian, if you had to have a generator, if you were remodeling a house right now and you had to have a generator there and to run the electricity, that may be considered. And then you guys can give me some thoughts of what you may have that I haven't thought of could be used for the utilities. And most of my clients are smart with their money, smart with their finances. They know what they want, what they need. They're driven. I work around a group of very, very driven folks. It's crazy. I'm like, pinch me. I'm the luckiest chickie poo. But you guys, if it's not forgiven, don't worry about it. Use it as you need it to pay yourself, to pay those utilities. Don't worry about it. If a portion's not forgiven, I don't care if I don't have a portion forgiven on mine. It's a 1% loan. There's nowhere on earth you can get a loan for 1% unless you do the year free credit cards, for a year. You don't have to pay it for 2 years. Cash is king right now. Cash is going to be hard to come by. We're going to have a webinar on that too, Nia, aren't we? Talking about stashing the cash, helping you stash the cash. How you can, and I've got some great clients that are great stewards with their money and can probably chime in and help us with that too. Nia, do we have any questions right now from anybody?
No, we don't have any questions, but I did just want to touch on a couple of things. We talked about saving the bills and keeping good records of that. And we also want to provide our monthly and quarterly clients with giving us those utility bills and all that. And, if you upload those to your client portal, we save them in your loan folder. And, as we showed you the spreadsheet we're using, on top of recording the loan and everything in your books, we are marking if we've received bills for these specific things. And, if we have record for that, our goal is really to keep everything in one place. So when it's time to get it forgiven, we can say, great, what's your bank asking for? Yep, we have all that stuff. Boom, boom, boom. And it's easy breezy by staying on top of it. Just like how having your up-to-date financials made it so easy for you to apply for the loan in the first place, we want to continue that process. And we need those financials not just for forgiveness, but also for your taxes, because we still don't know exactly how this is all going to be taxed. Right now they're saying that you can't take those expenses that you use the PPP money for, but there's a lot of accounting associations that are fighting that right now. And, there's still a lot of time left of the year for them to make changes on that. And we need to be prepared for that. And so I think that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah. Yeah, good point. Good point. So what Nia's saying, and you guys read it because you guys are all on top of it, because the income, that money, the funding is not going to be included as income, you won't be taking those expenses. So for some folks, if they're not going to take their payroll expenses, I have a millworking company who has 20 employees, and they're not going to get that payroll expense. And even in a downturn in the economy for them, their net profit's going to be like, hello, you know what I mean? 2 months of payroll is probably $300,000. So if they're not going to deduct it, then, so know that's what's over here too, and what's going on with us too. And you guys are going to have a net profit, but you didn't make as much money. And so we need to be you know, all of us together and on top of it. That's all I'm going to say. And Josh, you're really going to benefit as a realtor. It's going to put you in a different league. Christine is an MBA and she's a realtor and she is on her stuff. She knows where her stuff is. She runs her business like a business. She's not just a realtor. She is a businesswoman who's a realtor. And Brian, I have to say the same thing. You know, they both, I notice, keep it very simple, smart. They don't overcomplicate it. And that's all for the merrier. Not only all of the PPP and the EIDL and forgiveness, I know our eyes and ears are peeled to maybe the second coming of funding, right? So we want to be there. We want to be there. We want to be there. We want to have everything in line. Let's see.
We do have a couple questions. Brian was asking how far back to go with the utility bills. And yes, I would suggest as far back as, you know, when the month the PPP loan started, maybe the month before, just to give yourself a little cushion on the records. But that is also a great reason to have this up-to-date accounting, is because you're not, you know, going to be at the end of the 8 weeks of forgiveness and be like, okay, how much of it am I getting forgiven? And you know, we can constantly be monitoring that as far as how much is going to payroll or draws and how much is going to utility bills, and kind of give you a better idea of that number of forgiveness. And
so, Neil, I want to interject a second. I'm sorry. That was great. Really good. And especially what you said before and how you went over this and the points you made. I want to ask something. So it's from the date they received their loan. They received their loan May 1st. From that date forward, 8 weeks of paying out payroll and utilities. Okay. So that's a really good question, Brian. So Nia, if they got their loan, let's say April 15th.
Mm-hmm.
So they already paid their April utility bill. What do you think?
Well, I think that's, you know, a lot of the forgiveness too, as far as the flow, because there's discussion as, okay, you are paid, you know, say today's Friday, May 15th, you were paid on May 15th, but you were paid for, and you got your PPP loan, say on May 10th, on Monday, but you're being paid on the 15th for the 2 weeks prior to getting the loan. And that's something that, you know, people are still in discussion about, is does that count towards loan forgiveness? And we don't really know. But that's why this constant monitoring, or at least I don't know, you might, with all of your training to find out information about PPP loans, and you might know more about that than I do. You know, but the same thing with utilities is like, okay, if that's when you actually paid it or when those utilities were
incurred. I think you just gave Brian the best information ever. Brian, just have 1, 2, and 3. You know what I mean? You're going to pay them anyhow, right? You're going to pay them anyhow. Actually, what I suggested for home office people is taking whatever percentage we take on their tax return, taking their water, cable, cleanings. You could do repairs and maintenance too, and home lawn service, cleaning person. If we take 20% home office deduction on your tax return, take 20% of that, pay yourself in a check or transfer, whatever. You know, I don't know, Brian. I think we'll just err on the side of being silly, honest, and just keep, you know, Nia, are we keeping ours? I got to think about that. And it makes it a little difficult now because we're all electronic. We're all paying our bills on, you know, we're e-paying them. We get
an auto paying and
auto pay, and we don't even get the bill. Now it's, you know, it kind of went backward. Some.
Right.
So I don't know if we answered this question, which months can we pay? I'd say make sure you keep April, May, June, right? If whatever, you know, whatever your 8 weeks before your 8 weeks is up, pay them, you know, include them.
And bringing up the home office expenses brings us to our next question too from Josh about, you know, before all this happened, he was using office space at the brokerage, and now he's moved to a home office. So he can't base that percentage off of his last year, but, and yeah, if you want to go ahead and talk
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, now, Josh, I am so glad you brought that up. I think a client emailed me something last week about that, and I'm like, no, you have an office. You have an office outside the home. You can't take home office also. I don't live it. I don't get it. But I don't live, I try to think. Very good question. Folks, Nia, that we didn't take home office deduction for because they have an office, right? And we can't take double dip, But now during COVID, they're working out of their house and they have an LLC or a C Corp or a Schedule C. Huh. Well, here's the thing. I'll just give you the down and dirty on it, Josh. There's many IRS rules on the whole thing. It has to have its own entrance, has to be used only. And since we're being recorded, we'll make sure we tell you what the IRS says. It has to be its own entrance. You have to see clients there. It can only be used for that business. So most folks nowadays have a home office that's used just for your business. And I know that your husband is an employee, a W-2 employee. So he's not working in that office. If that is your now real estate office in your house, take your total square footage and divide the square footage in the room you're using. That'll be the percentage of your total square footage. So let's say it's 20% of the entire square footage. Take 20% of the electric, water, cable, pool service, cleaning service, termite service, bug service, all the repairs, 20% of that, and mortgage, and write yourself a check or transfer that money. But do some kind. Nia, you know what? Could you send something out next week to everybody, or just put it up on our website somewhere, so clients can click on it? A home office reimbursement something. We'll call it we don't even need to call it a COVID-19, because I hope that this teaches my clients to every month take that money out of their bank, out of their business, because it's a deductible expense. They don't have to wait to the end of the year. CPAs and accountants for 500,000 years have said, oh, I'll wait till the end to get that for my client. Why stress my client out during tax time? Get the money out of your business all year long. Write yourself a check for that. Write yourself a check for reimbursement. Then you don't have to remember.
And it a picture of your net profit every month as well.
Yeah, right. And then I'm not asking, and same with mileage. And I'm getting off the subject. But Josh, whatever that square footage is in that office that you use dedicated to business, you will take 20 or 15%, whatever it is. Let us know though how much, so we know. Good question. Good one. Any other ones?
Nope, no other questions. Oh,
Okay.
Here we go. Brian asked, as far as paying themselves, is it better to write a physical check rather than transfer from business to personal account?
Yeah, I know. Who has checks? I don't have business checks. I have a payroll company that we do payroll, so I would have Nia, process our payroll. Is everybody running out and going to get a checkbook and start with their checkbook register again? I doubt it. I think old fashioned is better, having a check, make a picture of it, or printing your cleared check from the banks. But I would take a picture, a screenshot of the transfer from the business account, and disagree with me, folks, and disagree with me, Nia, if you think, when you do it, take a screenshot of it, save it, and then when it gets deposited, black out your personal number, personal account number, stuff, where it went there. Staple them together or save them together on your whatever, or email them to Nia and she'll put them in your portal, side by side. So I don't know what a banker or any of the other PPP lenders or the SBA or the IRS, how can they deny it was for payroll or not? In a Schedule C, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously those draws are going to be recorded in your books as draws, and some banks probably would just accept that. But having the added screenshot type thing to show okay, this is the bill for this expense, is an added thing, and then we can record it on our spreadsheet that we have a bill for that. And so it's just these added layers of protection to ease the process of forgiveness.
Yeah, yeah, that was a really good question. I'm trying to think if I've had any questions regarding ours. I don't think about it. A lot of people. Oh, I've had folks that have had their employees go out on pay, or themselves, the business owner got a PUA, the unemployment, and then they got the PPP. And there's, obviously, if you're honest, you won't do both. You won't do both. I didn't apply for unemployment. I was grateful enough that I didn't have to, but it's not to say after my PPP loan is gone that, if something happens and I have to step outside of the business and, the business slows down to such a point that I wouldn't. But you can't apply for that till after the PPP loan is gone. And we're going to talk another time about employee retention credits. We're going to try to share, because half of my folks are Schedule Cs and partnerships and get draws and distributions, and then my other half are payroll folks. And if you guys can email in during the week questions that pop up, or things that you've heard from your friends or your research online. I think if we err on the side of being honest, we're not going to be in trouble. And then again, it doesn't get recorded on your balance sheet as a loan till it becomes a loan, and it's at 1% payable over 2 years. That's not so bad, So can you bring them on and unmute them, Nia? So if they want to ask a question, they can.
Yeah. Just see.
Hi, Josh. So, Josh, yeah, you're just new, and we just S Corp Josh. So, and Josh just got on payroll. So you're in that in between. We really need to help him, hold his hand with this, Nia, on this situation. Did you get
Kind of be a better time to go on the payroll service because of the reports that are being made for the PPP loan and forgiveness, and they haven't come out with them just yet, but we know that they're in process of setting it up. So there'll be a report where we can put in the date your loan started, and it will show all the payrolls ran in that time period.
Yeah. Josh, did you get a PPP loan, if you don't mind telling us? You did. He got it as a sole prop, Nia. So we need to take a look at that. You applied for it on your own, didn't you? Because we were having a little bit of a hard time and yada, yada. Okay. So can you email Nia later and say, this is how much I got, or if you already did, and this is the date I got it. And then we can put in the formula and tell you how much you can take. Nia, I'm wondering, this is an unusual case here. This is probably going to be one of none, Josh. One of none. You're so special. I know you are. You're a special boy. I only have special clients, So Nia, we'll have to talk about that. We're going to have to see what his, but they're not going to complain if he took it out in payroll. And he needs to take payroll for a plethora of different reasons. Okay, we need to hold his hand on that, definitely starting next week on that.
And I will mention something if you don't mind. I think y'all are aware, I tried with my local business bank, 2 other banks, Bank of America, I went through the ringer with them. So I'm in real estate coaching. Someone said on there to look at PayPal, of all places. Son of a gun, within 48 hours, I did it through PayPal, no problems whatsoever. So if someone's still looking, that might be an option.
Yeah. So thank you, Josh, for that. We kind of were a little late with that and found that. How did we find that out by accident? Found out Lendio, and Lendio had Cabbage, PayPal. When the when the PPP loans came out, it was only the big banks and regional banks and the smaller banks. But then there was, in the CARES Act, there was a provision, if you, meaning Square, Cabbage, PayPal, want to get sanctioned or certified or whatever, the blessings from the SBA to take these loans, they all signed up. And I hate saying this, my clients that had good relationships with their business bankers that like we are in bed with, that we provide financials to, that we have gotten lines of credit for, we put our namesake on the, you know, almost on the signature line, that we are in bed with. It was beautiful. We had our, you know, our hands were held, it got pushed through. People that banked with Bank of America and you know, Wells and all of them, it was horrific. But anyhow, I think that our Cabbage and our PayPal people, you're right. They were like this. They were like this. It says a lot for the banking system we have, right? But Josh, do go shake hands with your business banker. Tell them how important you are. Tell them how much money you're going to be putting through that bank, and you've got options. And by the way, you couldn't help me for this. So, you know, tell me what you're going to give me. Give me a couple hundred free QuickBooks checks or check system. And you need to be shaking the hand. That person needs to want to grow with you. I got a lot going on. I need to know, you know, when you think I should open a, excuse me, a money market account. He needs to be carrying a whole bunch, you know, taking you to lunch now and then. Go to lunch with him. Not only that, you know, he's got people in the bank all day long looking for mortgages and may need a realtor. So I've always found having good relationships with bankers is fabulous. I don't know how much.
Yeah, I just pulled up this, you know, this email is just an example of what we're receiving from banks that we work closely with locally. You know, they are they are starting to push things about forgiveness to us and what all that entails and what kind of information they're going to need. So if you receive anything like this from your banks, please forward it to us, because the more information we get, the more we can help.
And from PayPal too. I don't know, did you do any PayPal loans, Nia?
I did not, no.
Okay, so Josh, if you get something from PayPal, email it to us. And oh, you guys, let me tell you what. Christine, if you're still on here, did you apply for the Pinellas County $5,000 grant? Josh, look in the county. What? Oh, you didn't?
No.
Oh, shoot. Do it as we're talking on the phone right now.
Where do I go to?
The only thing is that, well, you go to.
Was that one for non-essential? Though I can't remember.
Oh, shoot. No, never mind. Wait, let me think. Realtors were considered essential, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, forget it. Anyhow, okay, never mind on that. Keep looking at other grants. Your city and county municipalities. The city of Clearwater has one. The city of St. Pete has one. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce, Nia and I couldn't get through. We tried for you guys. We sat on that website and nothing happened. But the U.S. Chamber of Commerce has one. The Pinellas County has a beautiful one. But Nia's right, it's for non-essential people. But if you know anybody and they need help with it, I'll be glad to help them. Josh, look at and maybe you have, and as realtors, you guys are on a lot of webinars, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't even know if I offered. I'm hoping not to, cloud your mind with more and more information that we're kind of evasive about because there's so many changes and there are changes, but hopefully to talk specifically about my folks without talking about your personal financials and finances, you know what I mean? But being a little more intimate in our situation and so forth. Oh, that's weird. That comes up on the phone. Can you see that, Nia?
Yeah.
That ClientWise is there? Oh, that's so funny. We'll have to figure that out. Okay, what else? Oh, Nia, I was thinking of something else. I don't know. Anyhow, we're going to have Dr. Lewis. He's a PhD, pretty jacked up doctor. Court systems use him all over the United States. He knows the brain in and out. He's a pretty good businessman too. We're going to have him as a special guest. We're going to have other people chime in and give you their experiences of what's going on with their businesses, try to gauge the economy. We need to do this together. You know, we need to know if we have business lines of credit, if we should take the money off of them and put it in our operating accounts. Should we take money off of our houses now? Is it going to be harder? You realtors, you folks in an industry, that and construction are the barometer, right? We know when it's coming down to the general public, what's happening. A realtor told me yesterday that my client who has about $300,000 equity in their home and only wants to take out 50,000 equity. So they owe 130-ish and they want to take out about 40,000 on it. He says, I don't think that they're doing that anymore. You guys tell me, but I need to let my clients know that now, because in the summer, normally we're slow, right? In Florida, in St. Pete. And we all need to talk together how we're going to help each other. That's another thing. We need to talk to each other how we're going to help each other, you know, find the silver lining in all of this. You know, Nia and I are so excited. We've been talking about doing Zoom and GoToMeetings forever. And I found watching everybody else, even our favorite Christina, what's his name? I don't watch him anymore, but that one CPA that was there. Who was that?
Clearview Tax is the name of his channel. I don't know his real name.
Oh, Clearview Tax. Yes. You know, and how many girls is he changing and hanging out with? My gosh. But, you know, there's nothing that, these people have become my life. There's nothing that they're saying that, you know, right now, while we're a small group, I hope I pay attention to you guys' needs. Like when I listen to those, it's very broad to everybody and this and that. I don't know that many people get their specific questions answered. And you can't, you know, there's everybody has their own situation and things aren't changing. You know, our lifeblood, me paying the mortgage on the building and buying gas in my car and my grandbabies, they're GG, you know, gifts. I depend on you guys. So, you know, I'm in it all the way to help you with your success. So if we get more people on here, my clients, I think we're going to keep it close to people that are in our group for now, right, Nia? And then, and not everybody's still a client. Some may have moved and gone, or, you know, their aunt's uncle's brother became a CPA and they're working with them now. That's okay. But to keep it in here so we can also help the realtors, help my builders, help my AC guys. All of us help each other too. Like, oh, guess what? So-and-so is opening on such and such. Let's just, you know, be a band of brothers. And I appreciate you guys more than you know. You know, this was my 23rd tax season. And, you know, and I have to tell you, I don't know, I probably told a lot of you, this year I spent time and money. I spent paying Nia to learn Onvio, that client portal, and I spent money on that. I changed from our old client portal, and the expense, and I'm going, oh, I hate it. I don't want to do it. I don't like it. And she really dug in and sold it to Max and I haven't gotten fully on board. And then she had started helping me cut back on things I was just spending way too much money on. And we went to Jive phone system. We have iPads. She's sitting there, can pick up the phone. I overspend, and I have for years, for a cloud service with a jacked up firewall, because I am not the IT girl. My former CPA husband was, but I can't have downtime. It exasperates me. And I had my friend Raj go, why you pay that much money? You think you're Hollywood for your cloud service. But I can sleep at night. I have everybody's login information, everybody's account numbers. And guess what? Because we were so client centric on Onvio, we were able to boom, 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 tax returns. I didn't have to worry about, maybe the clients coming in and having that contact and everything. And then the Jive phone system, and there were just things in place. And then we decided early, even though we were considered essential. And Nia and Max came to work every day, and they came to work every day. And Nia had mentioned something, and I said, "Oh, would it be better if we worked, you know?" And after I had had the flu so bad and gave it to everybody, maybe. But and we decided, and I asked Max, I said, "Would you feel better working from home during all this?" And he said, "Yes." We were able to that minute do exactly what we were doing in the office. That second, I felt good about the employees being with their families and away from, you know, clients coming in. My clients were so thoughtful and didn't come in, but we had the systems in place, and know that that's, you know, it was a miracle. It was a pure miracle that those were in place. And then the PPP, you know, came about. But it was 23 years, I'll have to say it was my best tax season ever. I think there was a lot of business lost. And if we can help anybody, thank you. We give gift certificates to local businesses, and we appreciate any Google reviews. That really helps. We've got a lot of things in the works right now because we're going to change the way we do business. You know, we may just stay virtual. You guys can come in here. I'm here all the time, so you can come and see me. But we're just going to change a whole bunch of things. We're going to be more efficient. We're going to have more efficient processes. We're going to be able to spend more face time with the clients discussing things instead of like, you know, oh my God, what they're calling or they're emailing. We got to get, you know, just going to be better, way better. And I think you're going to like it. And as we increase, and we're expecting to almost double our business this year through the systems we're putting in and spending money on, you're going to have access to all these people, you know, to do business with and share ideas with and that kind of thing. I have some pretty cool people. I have some really, really cool people, and you guys are amongst them. Every one of my clients, like I said, is so unique. I don't even know, you know. So I'm here if you do want to stop by the office. If the client portal's aggravating, yes, it is. I know it is. Nia is going to continue working remotely. She travels, and she'll have to tell you her story sometime when we all share stories. She's a very traveled person, and she'll be traveling, but still be there. Remember, we have a payroll company. Anybody we can help with payroll, appreciate it. And anybody have anything to add or want to say before we're going to go ahead and go? Nia?
I think that's everything. Josh and Brian have had to jump off, and Christine's
Hey,
about to as
Christine,
well.
bye.
So, yeah, I think that's everything. I think we covered everything we wanted to. You know, it was just an intro meeting. We're gonna get a lot more into the meat and dive deep into all of this and other things, like you mentioned, the resources that we're looking forward to providing for the rest of the year. We're pretty excited about. So.
Yeah. Okay, bye everybody. Call or email. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Take care. See you at the next webinar. Bye.
This conference will now be recorded.
Hello.
Oh, hello. We are going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
I think we need to get a little catchy. The people I like watching on